Today we're going to find out what wine pairs with a Japanese eggsando. I'm Jason.
And I'm Trent, and we're here on an unapologetically unprofessional, unfiltered wine journey. Who's that you, Jace?
Our saying is drink more, try more, learn more. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Trent, what's been on your mind?
What's been on my mind? So recently we talked to the Grape Crusader.
Yes.
Okay, one of the things he mentioned when we were tasting was tasting under your tongue is a bit more sensitive than on top of your tongue. So it got me to think about your palate and how it actually works.
Yep.
So first thing is technique. So I've noticed there's got two main techniques when people start tasting wine. One is what they call the reverse whistle technique.
Okay, yeah.
And the second is the chewing technique. So reverse whistle, do you know what that is?
Yeah, I feel like it's when you suck in air. Is that what it is? As opposed to blow it out, yeah?
So like whistling, instead of blowing out, you're blowing in. So they always do this kind of bring in air. Again, aerate it, oxidate it a bit more and get the aromas going. It's like this.
Yes.
It's what the professionals do, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
sucking in some spaghetti bolognese. Yeah.
And then the second one is like chewing technique, like you're chewing the wine up, get it around your whole mouth.
Yeah.
Or the other options that people use a combination of both. They suck and then chew.
Yeah.
Keep going. Which one do you use? How are you doing it?
I've probably mixed between the two, but I'd probably do the reverse whistle more so than the chew.
Yeah, I've been trying to perfect the reverse whistle. Some people do it just so nice, similar to like when you do spitting to spittoon.
Yeah.
It's like a technique. Yeah, it's very clean.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to perfect that, but I'm not quite there yet. I kind of compare it to when you're eating food. Like when you're eating food, my eldest, he'll just scoff it down. I don't know whether he's even tasting the food.
Yeah.
Because my youngest, he'll eat there, munch on it, taste it, every bit and pieces, and each flavor, and then he'll swallow it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's with wine as well. You have to take your time, appreciate the flavors, and then you kind of swallow and digest it. So don't go too hard.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. And you got to just spend that quality time thinking it through.
Yeah, sit on it, as I say, or marinate on it a bit, understand it. The other part of it is also your nose. It's not purely just your tongue, it's your nose.
Yeah.
And the best thing to compare it to is when you have a cold or blocked nose. You just don't taste things just as well anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of both palate and also your nasal cavity or your olfactory that kind of brings it all together as those senses. So I'm going to get to 5 fun facts on how your palate works.
Tell me them. Yes.
Okay, number 1, the different tastes. Do you know what the different tastes are?
Is it like salty, sweet?
Yeah,
those differences? Umami, sour. That's 4.
That's 4. Okay, the five are salty, sweet, bitter, sour, acidity, and umami, or to say it's savory.
Yeah.
Okay, second fun fact. Every palate is different. It's a bit like DNA. So like in terms of what I'm tasting is very different to how you're tasting. So it's not like Jancis Robertson is whatever she tastes and that's what you should be getting.
Yeah.
You know, every person's palate's quite different. And also similar to like when you kind of grow up, different foods that you associate with is quite different to what someone in Finland to New Zealand is very different as well. So every person's palate is individual.
Yeah.
Fact number 3, it's a long-held misconception that there's only certain parts of your tongue have certain senses to the different tastes, sour, sweet, etc. But it's actually, it's only on the side of your tongue that's more sensitive to the taste. And also you can taste all those 5 tastes across the same areas as well. So it's not that tip of your tongue can taste sweet.
Oh.
Side of your tongue can taste sour.
Yeah.
And actually, you can taste all 5 across your tongue.
But more pronounced on the sides.
More pronounced on the sides, which is fact number 4. So more sensitive on the side than the middle of your tongue. But then the back of your tongue is more, you can taste bitter a lot more. And the reason why you taste bitter a lot more is because if you taste bitterness, you think it's poisonous and then you want to spit it out.
Yeah.
And that's why in the back of your tongue, you can taste a bit more bitterness.
Right.
Fact number 5, adults have between 2,000 and 4,000 taste buds in total. And for each taste bud, there's 10 to 50 sensory cells. And those taste buds are renewed once a week. So you can see that, you know, it gets renewed once a week. You know, there's so many different taste buds there going on. It's really to that point around each person's DNA as well, how each person's individual senses is his own different palate. And probably the last bonus one is the tongue is also the quickest part of your body to heal because it is kind of regenerating all the time. It has all the saliva that kind of protect it as well, and the mucous membrane. That's fun facts.
Love ending things on the mucous membrane. So the point that the Grape Crusader was making was that there's this myth or there's this rumor going around that the bottom of your tongue is actually better for tasting.
Yeah, which is wrong.
Which is wrong.
It's
Wow.
wrong. It's wrong. I'm just going to finish on one last one, palate development. So there is that point around training your palate.
Yeah.
That the more consistent exposure to different flavors and styles, food and wine, the more it develops as well.
Yeah.
Hence our drink more, try more, learn more.
Beautiful motto.
What have you been thinking about, Jace?
I've been thinking about what's in front of us, and we're going to talk about the Japanese egg sandwich. And a big component of that is the bread. And so kind of taking from that, I've been thinking about brioche. Brioche bread. We had some good times in France with some brioche bread. Do you recall what happened over there?
No, my memory eludes me at the moment.
I feel like we enjoyed some fantastic wine, but I don't remember the wine because we had so much of it with some brioche bread and foie gras.
Yes.
And all of that just came out into the hotel apartment room because we had too much of a good time. But the reason I've been thinking about brioche is because we were having a chat to Keppel Smith from Sabatier, and he talked about what it is that gives wines that brioche note. And so I wanted to dive into that a bit more and find out what that is. I don't know if everyone's had brioche bread, but if you haven't, give it a crack. It's this kind of... It's more like a cake-like yellow bread that's more sweet and rich. And typically, like we had it with the foie gras, but nowadays we're having it with burgers, brioche bun burgers. So give that a go. The reason it's yellow, I think it's because of the egg yolk and the butter.
Yeah.
So it gives it that denseness and that richness. But the reason Keppel Smith was talking about it, because we were talking about his Chardonnays and it did have this brioche toastiness note about it. And what he mentioned is this term, autolysis, that comes about. It's a good term. You made a face. You made a whistle face. It sounded super technical.
I know.
And so I needed to find out what the hell is autolysis. But what he was saying is that's what adds those notes. And so I was looking into it. Autolysis actually sounds pretty damn gross when I read up about it, because it's about eating yourself and then releasing stuff from what you eat to give you these notes.
Okay.
It sounds gross. And so really it's about the lees. We talked about lees previously. When you're fermenting wine, the yeast chomps on the sugars from the grape, converts it to alcohol, and then the yeast eventually dies. And that's the lees that lays around in the wine. And in the Roman days when they were first creating wine, the feeling was, that's the sediment. So imagine that in your wine there. If you leave those lees in the wine for about 15 to 18 months, Kep said maybe 9 months even, they start eating themselves, right? The enzymes in the lees eats itself and it kind of disintegrates and releases this goodness into the wine. So it releases amino acids and some more flavor compounds. And that's what gives it this creamy, toasty, bready brioche flavor. Wow. So the brioche notes comes from something eating itself. It's pretty awesome.
Are you a fan of autolysis?
I am a fan of autolysis. Now that I know what it is, I don't want to know about it, but I do like those brioche bready notes coming through.
I feel like you got to throw that around sometimes. When you're tasting something, I can taste some autolysis coming through on this.
Yes, yeah, it sounds good. It also sounds like autocorrect. No, let's edit.
Autocorrect.
That's what's been on my mind.
Awesome.
Yeah.
On to today's episode.
On today's episode,
we're going to see what pairs with a Japanese egg sandwich, or otherwise known as a tamagosando.
Sounds so Japanese when you say that.
Tamagosando. Okay, so I think sometimes in life, the best things are the simple things in life. And this is very much what this is, which is basically egg in a sandwich. But I'm going to go into that a bit more detail later on. I'm going to talk about what people have said about it. Anthony Bourdain, he talks about the tamagosando as inexplicable deliciousness. Okay. It's often found in Japanese convenience stores, 7-Elevens, Family Marts, Lawson's. You get it for about $2. It's a very grab and go type of snack that's really good. If you haven't had one, you got to try. I would say it's very extremely good.
Nice. I like it.
So what is it? The sandwich consists of a creamy egg salad filling made with Kewpie mayonnaise, the very best. Nestled between slices of soft, fluffy shokupan. Shokupan is Japanese milk bread.
Okay.
Okay. No crust, so we cut off the crust, which means that you have this soft, pillowy texture with kind of the eggy goodness, creamy richness center to enjoy. Today, we're going to be pairing this with a tamagosando with a Pocari sweat.
So for Pocari sweat, we'll hold this up to the screen.
And also a grape sweat wine, completely unrelated. And the reason why we're doing this today is because the brilliant people at Wine Press Wines, Nick in particular, said that this pairs with a Japanese egg sandwich in terms of the grape sweat wine. Before we get to that, I'm going to talk about something, again, completely unrelated, which is Pocari sweat. So for those that don't know what Pocari sweat is, as the name suggests, it's the sweat from a Pocari.
What's a Pocari?
Or maybe not, but it's really just the Japanese version of Gatorade. So it's to replenish fluids and electrolytes. But I thought the best way to discuss about what Pocari sweat is give you 5 fun facts about what Pocari sweat is.
Give us the facts.
The facts. So the name Pocari sweat, Pocari refers to lightness and brightness. I don't know how it kind of refers to that, but it talks about lightness and brightness. It's not actually a Japanese word. Second, sweat refers to hydration. So lightness, brightness, and hydration. Second fun fact, it's non-carbonated, has a mild flavor. In terms of what it tastes like, it's slightly salty, slightly sweet with a mild grapefruit flavor, which means that it's non-carbonated. It's quite easy to kind of down quite quickly and consume. Easy to consume. Number 3, innovative marketing. In 2014, they had this thing called the Dream Capsule, where they put Pocari sweat into a capsule and they wanted to kind of launch it into space. It didn't happen, but, props for thinking about it and trying it. I thought I might add that in. Number 4, cultural impact. It is very strongly associated with kind of active lifestyles as well. There have been a bit of collabs with K-pop groups twice, which I never heard of, which is a girl band.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You do? And
I thought you meant it happened 2 times, but okay.
And also Cindy Crawford as well.
Cindy Crawford? When was that? That must have been a while ago.
We'll pop it up. Last one, health benefits. So it is an ion supply drink, which contains electrolytes that closely resembles the natural fluid in the human body. And because of that, it's effective for rehydration after exercise in hot climates. So that's the Pocari sweat. But we're going to try the wine first and then the Pocari sweat or the...
Let's try the Pocari sweat to understand the liquage.
Okay.
And I've got to say, when traveling in Japan, you see these everywhere in the vending machines in the convenience stores.
Yeah. You go try that one. While you try that, I'm going to talk about the grape sweat wine. So the grape sweat is a Macabeo grape variety, otherwise known as Viura in Spain, in the Rioja area. The flavor profiles that it provides is citrus notes, green apple, and floral aromas. The backstory behind this one is, it even says it here, actually. It says here, it's not a sports drink. It tastes a lot like one. Grapefruity, salty, yummy, not found in vending machines and pairs with 7-Eleven eggsandos. So it says it there on the tin. Okay, while you try that, I'm going to talk a bit about the grape sweat Macabeo. So this is from Table Wines and also provided by Wine Press Wines in Geelong. So just a bit about this one. Macabeo grape variety, as I say, is from Viura and Rioja. Typical notes from it is citrus, green apple, floral aromas. In terms of the backstory, picked a ton of Macabeo in the Riverland, and because they had room in the trailer. They had no stainless steel left over. They had no French oak, so they went to American oak, which is unusual for table wines. The tasting notes when they had in July was grapefruit, saline, and low acid. And immediately, the people there thought, tastes a bit like Pocari sweat, but let's not call it Pocari sweat. Let's call it something else. So grape sweat. It's extremely popular, and it's actually been pretty much sold out now in the Victorian distributor. You're trying that now? How is it?
Yeah, so Pocari sweat first, like if I'm describing that, energy drink absolutely gives you those vibes. It's kind of like flavored water, with a bit more thickness, and Pocari sweat, it reminds me of Calpis, but a bit more diluted.
I think the difference is Calpis is was it fermented something water?
Hmm.
This is more of an energy drink.
Yeah.
Does it give you like Powerade vibes a bit?
It absolutely gives me Powerade vibes. It feels like there's been a powder that's been mixed to it, but it's really the thickness that stands out. It's a bit more thick than what water would be.
Try it with the egg sandwich. I think it does go with it. It's that kind of, definitely that kind of saltiness with the creaminess comes together.
Yeah, so had a taste of this while you were talking, and I got to say, you were talking about the scent of apples, floral notes, and I completely agree with that. I think that comes through. There's a bit of muskiness around it, which I'm picking up as well. Reminds me a bit of a Riesling, but you know those petrol notes that you get through it, but not as strong. Maybe that's the floral side to it. But the taste is quite a distinct taste. It's a very dry wine. It's got these citrus, grapefruit kind of notes to it. And then there's this underlining like saltiness, minerality to it that really stands out. So super dry. And I guess it's the thickness of it, the body of it is what gives me that linkage back to pocarisweat. You've been having it with the eggsando. What do you think?
Firstly, the eggsando is amazing.
Who made this?
I think it's from Chef Trent that made it. Beautifully done. 10 out of 10 corkscrews for that one. But yeah, having it with the grape sweat. Grape sweat has those saline notes come through. Definitely that kind of saltiness comes through. But having it together, I felt that the grape sweat actually, it does cleanse it, but then it kind of overwhelms the egg sandwich. It kind of just washes it all away rather than bring it together as a first impression. What do you think?
I just had it. So the characteristics of the Sando, that bread that you were talking about, it's actually got sweet notes to it. And then that mayo is quite creamy. The flavors of the grapefruit and the saline notes, they're almost the opposite. And so it's not like they clash. They don't complement each other.
Yeah.
But it does, by doing so, that's what kind of refreshes the palate. But it doesn't uplift the flavors.
Yeah, it feels more like a palate cleanser between the richness of the egg sandwich.
Yeah.
I think go for the egg sandwich again rather than both harmonizing together.
Yeah, completely agree. Such a unique wine. I haven't tasted anything like that before, so fortunate to give that a try. Also, 10 out of 10 for the eggsando. Yeah. Chef Trent, bloody hell, he's got some good skills.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to make, like boiled eggs. Sugar, milk, Kewpie mayo, salt, pepper.
Yeah.
Put together, let it marinate a bit.
Yeah. Don't reveal your secrets, man.
Beautiful. Again, the simple things in life are the best things sometimes.
Agree.
So, I don't know, corkscrews.
As a wine, I think it's an interesting wine. The pairing itself, I'd probably give that a 5 out of 10 corkscrews, just because it didn't uplift the sandwich on their own. I think both of them work well, but they're too contrasting.
I'll probably give it a 6. Like it didn't clash, but just again refreshes the palate. Yeah. Go back in for a bit more richness. But yeah, again, it didn't harmonize, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, completely agree.
What do you think about the comparison between pocarisweat to grape sweat?
Pocarisweat to grape sweat. I think the challenging thing is grape sweat isn't sweet, pocarisweat sweet. So it's already contrasting. I think the similar linkage is actually in the body. They're both a bit kind of got a bit of weight to it. What about you?
Weight's the same. It does have those kind of salty notes in both of them as well, which kind of makes them similar. But I agree with your point. A bit more sweetness in the pocarisweat compared to the grape sweat. But I get the slight comparison, but it might be a bit of a stretch though.
Yeah. Look, lesson is anything with sweat, we got to taste it.
Jason's sweat coming out next.
That's right. All right. So let us know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Let us know if you've tried pocarisweat. What wine would you pair with the Japanese eggsando? What is it? It's a tamagosando. Tamagosando. Put it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as we say here, drink more, try more, learn more. Thanks all.